Look, let's go to the latest with Donald Trump. It looks like the court date for his criminal racketeering case is going to be set for August next year in Georgia, just as the general campaign starts only 3 months before the November presidential election. He's pleading not guilty. He says this is all part of a witch hunt against him. Andrew, this is clearly very political to time this case for August.
Well, the great irony here, Shari, is that this case has been brought against Trump for allegations of interfering and undermining the democratic and electoral process. But this case, in its very nature and its timing, undermines and interrupts the democratic process. So I think there are a lot of people out there thinking today that, this will be a considerable interruption to Trump's campaign. I disagree. I think this will be Trump's campaign. We all know that he's going to become the Republican candidate here, but now he will get to stand on the steps of a courthouse every single day and rail against a complete erosion of the trust that ordinary Americans have in their political and judicial systems. I mean, this is Russia type stuff, where the only difference is that Trump's not being marched out out of Siberia. And I think it will be a daily reminder to ordinary Americans that this is not the America that we want, or we want America to become. So it is a platform for him. He doesn't need to get on a plane to go to Des Moines, Iowa. He's got them in the bag already. But this just makes Donald Trump a martyr, and that is in his favour.
Joe, it seems like no matter what the Democrats throw at him, how many criminal or civil cases, his popularity just goes up and up in the polls. It does at this point look like we're probably going to have another Trump president.
Yeah, I think, and again, I think both a Biden presidency and a Trump presidency would be disastrous at this point in world history. We've seen what's obviously happening in Israel and Gaza. We've seen what's happening in the Ukraine. Then the US is basically all that is stopping the world from falling apart into terror and chaos. And we need a strong US with a strong leader, not an erratic US with an erratic leader, or a leader who doesn't know where he is or what day it is or what his first name is. So that's my first caveat. The truth is, I think that the biggest indictment here is not the one faced by Donald Trump, but an indictment on the Democrats, because they clearly do not know how to beat this guy on the actual electoral battlefield. They clearly are scared. The only way they were able to beat him last time was when Joe Biden was able to pull together an extraordinarily broad coalition of voters that range from kind of ex-Sanders socialists to the Lincoln Project, ex-Republican, conventional sort of establishment Republicans or whatever. So it was like, there wasn't really a vote for Biden, there was just a vote against Trump. And in many ways, it was a bit like the vote against Morrison last year. And the truth is, the Democrats have thrown all sorts of things at Trump, like the Russian collusion charges, the Supreme Court interventions into his immigration policies, and now, of course, this, because they clearly don't have a strategy to beat him at the ballot box. And that is an awful indictment on the biggest political organisation in what is supposed to be the greatest democracy on earth.
Yeah. All right, let's turn to this topic on Elon Musk. I really never thought I'd be having a topic where I'm speaking about whether Elon Musk is an anti-Semite or not. He says he's not. He insists he's not. But people are questioning whether he is anti-Semitic after a string of tweets he sent on the platform he now owns last week. And major companies are now even pulling advertising from X after he retweeted a conspiracy theory that alleges Jewish people have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I mean, it's just nutty stuff. And Elon Musk then replied to this person to say that he was speaking the actual truth. Andrew Carswell, I mean, you can't argue that's not anti-Semitism.
Yeah, it's rather bizarre, isn't it? And it just smacks of a bloke having one too many drinks and sending a few tweets or text messages that probably revealed a little too much of your character and your deep-held personal views. So we don't know if he's an anti-Semite, but there are genuine questions now that need to be asked here. And it underscores again that the biggest danger and risk to X or Twitter as a platform is Elon Musk himself. So there are certainly many questions that need to be answered here. Sure, he's had a falling out with the Anti-Defamation League,
Yep.
the wonderfully named Anti-Defamation League, and that's been patched up. And he's trying to push this citizen journalism category on Twitter. So we get all that, but a gross overstep here by Elon Musk.
Joe, I've always been a huge fan of Elon Musk. I've read both of the books about him. He's a clear genius. He's advancing the world, taking it forward in so many different areas, made a bigger difference than almost any other human on earth, you could argue. But he is allowing anti-Semitism to kind of thrive on the platform he owns.
It's a really weird one. Like you, I find Elon Musk absolutely fascinating, and he thinks outside the box, and that is fantastic, and that is why he's the multi-billionaire that he is. But I suppose it also means that there's a danger of sort of going down rabbit holes, falling for conspiracy theories about the Jews or whatever it is. I mean, I have no idea what he's talking about, to be honest.
I don't either.
It's at this point you claim that your Twitter account's been hacked, usually in the media cycle. But that's not his style. He stands by everything, of course, because he's Elon Musk. I mean, obviously he's an advocate for free speech. He's a champion of free speech. He's done great work in that area. The problem is, of course, when you parrot these kind of conspiracy theories or whatever it is that is, you are playing into really dangerous territory. I mean, when you look at the biggest conspiracy theory of all, which is this Protocols of the Elders of Zion, I mean, this was just absolute nutty, crazy, insane stuff about Jews eating their own babies or killing babies, something like that. You know, it's not on my reading list, I have to admit. But this is something that actually, you know, is at the centre of Nazism. This is something that's been the centre of Jewish purges or myths similar to it. It's been the centre of Jewish purges throughout, you know, medieval Europe. This is something that's at the centre of Hamas's belief as to what Jews are and what they do and what they're secretly plotting and planning behind the scenes. So these things have real world, catastrophic, murderous consequences on the ground. They're not just kind of, you know, harmless sort of idiotic things in the back corners of the internet.
Look, just on this topic, Andrew Carswell, we saw John Howard, and I played an excerpt of it a bit earlier, gave a very strong speech at a synagogue on Friday night. Do you think that Albanese is ever going to come and call out anti-Semitism? 30-second answer.
No, because it would cause a disruption within his own party. And to be honest, I don't think he understands it or gets it. It's instinctive for the right of politics. It's not for Albanese.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, look, obviously the Labor Party is divided on this, and I think that's one of the uglier elements of particularly the left of the party. And but again, I think Albo thinks he has been strong, and I think for many people on the left, they think he's actually gone too far, which tells you how far they are down the other rabbit hole. Yeah.